LOS40.
Okay, so my daughters are of the right age to sort of get me into all this music. Olivia Rodrigo, maybe? She's pretty badass. I know that Knight wanted to, he used Rosalia as a sort of example for her in the way that she sort of holds herself.
It's one aspect of it. You know, the main idea came from me and Saleka talking about doing a movie where the characters watch a concert, watch an album that she, you know, that could she write an album and that would be important to the story. So I wanted to think of something kind of, you know, scary, but it was funny because it's at a pop concert. That juxtaposition is really funny. And it came from this event in the 80s, I think, where they caught these criminals pretending they were at the Super Bowl, pretending they're going to the Super Bowl. And they gave them free tickets. And there were cheerleaders and band people. They were all police officers, and they caught all these guys. Yes, it's that the putting the two together. It's a mix of a lot of genres, you know, a lot of movies. It's like a straight thriller like Silence of the Lambs, or it's a music movie like Purple Rain, but it's also kind of like a guy in a building trying to physically, like an action movie like Die Hard. So I even named the stadium Tanaka Arena kind of in honor of Nakatomi Plaza in Die Hard, so.
No, it was actually a concept, you know, we've been talking for a while about wanting to make something together where I write an album of original songs for, you know, a movie that he makes or, you know, sort of a film narrative. And so we were kind of just mulling about different ideas, and he really had thought this idea of a serial killer at a concert was super fascinating. And so we were kind of just talking about how to do that, and then he came up with the angle that, you know, the audience is kind of with this serial killer. And it sort of blossomed from there. So it was always something that we wanted to do together. I think music-wise, I wanted it to be very much me because, well, it's hard not to be because I wrote and produced it all. So, you know, of course it's gonna be my taste, and I really wanted it to be something that when the album exists separate as it will, that I wanted to feel like it was my album, but simultaneously the character that I'm playing is very much not me in a lot of ways. And she's this big artist, she's confident, she's performing in stadiums and all of this stuff. So I was trying to channel, you know, the artists that I love and kind of their confidence and their relationship with their audience and how they present themselves on stage and off stage, you know, for those elements of it.
Well, that's a great question. I think in reality, and she probably would tell you this, it's Saleka pushed. Saleka with extroverted and more outgoing, and you know, Saleka is very introverted and quiet and shy, and you know, and Lady Raven is like, how y'all doing? You know, she's really buoyant, and I kept saying, you know, she finds her energy from the love of her fans and out there. She's not thinking, you know, oh, do they like me? Do they like? It's not like that. It's this way. And so I wrote her kind of a color of Saleka that she could be capable of. I'm a big Billie Eilish fan, so I think Billie and Phineas are dope. So, you know, I think they're amazing. So they as artists are people that I look up to and look to for their approach and their integrity and their joy and their ability to work with family, and so I think they're pretty badass.
So my daughters are of the right age to sort of get me into all this music. Olivia Rodrigo, maybe? She's pretty badass. I know that Knight wanted to, he used Rosalia as a sort of example for her in the way that she sort of holds herself. I don't know. I mean, I just hear the music around the house because my kids are obsessed, but I don't really know their pop personas very well. Oh man, I mean, like Nirvana was like that was like the band that I loved when I was young, and that's not really the same thing, but Kurt Cobain's pretty badass.
I had to choose one that's sorry, what did you say? Oh, I mean, there's a couple, can I say a few? Okay, so Rosalia is one, Taylor Swift, and Billie Eilish.
Well, they're both part of the same character, really. It's not, the dualism comes from, the duality comes from the fact that he's layered on this character of a good dad and a good husband and a pillar of the community, but really the character is the butcher. So we wanted all of that stuff, or I wanted all of that stuff with Ariel, who plays my daughter, who plays Riley, to be a little bit stilted, a little bit over the top. You know, he wears a lot of those friendship bracelets. He's really interested in trying to help her solve her problems, but the way that he solves them isn't necessarily the way that I would solve my daughter's problems, because I would solve them with kind of love and empathy, and he's trying to analyze them and figure out how to get past it and try to, figure out how to help her navigate, which can be helpful to keep your emotions out of it. But he's not capable of having the emotions, which is interesting. So basically, he's one character, and he needed to be psychologically sound, but then also there's all this other fun stuff to play on top of it.
Suscríbete y entérate de todo.